Okay, Cancer, we're going to do your twin flame reading for June 2022. It's like the third time I've tried to record this, but something always happens. We're in the end of Mercury retrograde, heading into post shadow, which the official end of Mercury retrograde, or the shadow period rather, will not end until the 18th of June. No matter how many means tarot readers and astrologers you hear say that Mercury retrograde is over or has turned direct, that is not true at all, because what happens is that just like everything in life, any type of transition is always a process. So you have pre-shadow, then you have Mercury retrograde, and then you have post-shadow. I got a video on my channel if you want to check that out, learn more information about it. So I'm going to be using two different decks for your twin flame reading. Make sure this is recording. Okay. And let's see. The first one is Twin Flames in Separation. It's a 77 card deck. I got these on Amazon for $50 a piece. So that's what that looks like if you want to look at it or order them yourself. This is the creator right here. That's supposed to be the creator, but it says it's Live Tarot, so looks like they have two different imprints. Anyway, the other one is basically the same. It's just more personalized messages for twin flames. So these are more or less, you know, it could be for the ones that have the messages in separation. That could be for the runner or chaser, or both, depending on, you know, which phase you're in. So let's get this going. And Sun, Moon, Rising, Cancer, Twin Flame, Venus, and any other placement you want to, you know, add this to. All right. So what does Cancer's Twin Flame want to say to them at this time? What does Cancer's Twin Flame want to say to them at this time? What does Cancer's Twin Flame? Alright, so I feel like you're on the other side of my every breath. So that'll probably resonate with a lot of you. And I know the feeling, I can relate. My journey, I'm in separation as well. But I will tell you this, me personally, I don't know that I will ever, you know, do the whole reuniting thing with the twin flame, because mine refuses to grow. I'm the more spiritually evolved twin, and she doesn't really want to grow. It's like trying to make somebody do something. So we've been in separation, or last time I talked to her basically was over a year ago. And also I want you to check out this video that Twins Astrology does. I've been telling everybody on the other readings. It's by Twins Astrology, and it talks about a 9-year cycle for those of you that started their twin flame journey around 2012 or the beginning of 2013. The last eclipse that we had in Scorpio basically was the culmination or the ending point of that 9-year cycle. So a lot of twins are starting to merge together, or there's more of an awakening happening for the one that's not awake, or the less evolved twin. So what else? What are other messages does Cancer's Twin Flame want to tell them at this time? And remember, this is a generalized reading, so it's not going to resonate with everyone. What other messages does Cancer's Twin Flame want to tell them at this time? What other messages? I always look for you at airports as if we'll be at the same place in the world. And for you true twins out there that's actually going through the separation and have been on this journey for 9 years or longer, you know what that's like. You know where you feel like they're there, or you might end up in a place in the world where you know they've been there, or you feel like they're there at the same time you are. And you know, in reality, that's very plausible, but at the same time they kind of are, because I mean they're, you know, just another version of you. Alright, what other messages does Cancer's Twin Flame want them to know at this time? What other messages does Cancer's Twin Flame want to say to them at this time? What other messages does Cancer's twin flame want to say to them at this time? I'm working on myself so I can give you the love and the relationship you deserve. So I know a lot of you, it's exhausting and it just makes you feel like it's forever. But the twin flame journey is more about yourself, and it's not so much as finding the one, it's about becoming the one. So if you're out here in the beginning stages or wherever you at, on your journey, just know that it's a destined relationship, but you still have the free will situation. So one piece of advice that I can definitely give you is don't, if you're the chaser, stop chasing. Stop trying to convince. Live your life, do you. I know it's difficult, it's not easy to say, but that's all you can do. And eventually, two things will either happen. Either you will become solid within yourself and won't even be worried about it anymore, like you won't even need it, kind of like where I'm at, or you'll still be that way, but they'll contact you and then something will happen. Me personally, like I said, I don't know if it'll ever happen because it's one of those things I've just kind of put it in the back of my mind. It doesn't really matter anymore. I've learned the lessons. The twin flame for me was more of a catalyst, and I went through many different types of cutting cords, and how they say you can't cut cords and stuff like that. Well, that's true, but you can do certain types of energy work that make it a whole lot easier. Because for some of you, I know you can relate that sometimes it can feel like an addiction. And I will say this too, for all those twin flame specialists out there, or so-called twin flame specialists that say that the relationship should never be abusive or anything like that. Well, that would depend. If your twin has Aries highly aspected in their charts, it can be very plausible or possible for that to go down that way. Like an example I can give you is for me. For me, my entire family was that way. I grew up in that type of environment. Instability in the home, a lot of abuse, a lot of siblings, all the male or the masculine energies that seemed to be abusive towards me. I was more the feminine, so more feminine in regards to feminine energy in this body, or the divine feminine. And so I went through that and lived that my entire life. So it would make sense that all the soulmates and the twin flame would mirror that back to you because you're used to it. So it becomes natural. And then once you change inside and make that decision that you don't want that anymore, then everything around you would change, and even the people that you bring in or attract to you or whatever else. But it makes you stronger because many of the more evolved twins, they are like, a lot of indigo, like starseed warriors that they need to, they, especially the ones that are born in the 80s or early 90s, they are supposed to be that way so that they can, go against tyranny and everything that's made the world wrong. And so you need that type of training, if you will. So when they say that the relationship is just supposed to be beautiful and nothing else, well, we come into duality. So until you fully merge with the twin flame on, 5D or 6D or 7D or up to 15D, depending on what you believe in. Most people are stuck, they believe all this, 5D, I'm moving into 5D. Well, it's not. 5D is just more of a vibration. It's not a place. So it's more of just being in a heart-centered place where you are, in a sense, in balance with your higher self and lower self. So that would be like centered, heart-centered, living through your heart. But the truth is we are multidimensional, and Edgar Casey said that we had 3D bodies, but we could think in 8 dimensions of consciousness. So that was then, that was back when he was channeling his information. So if it was 8 dimensions of consciousness then, then it can be a whole lot more now. And like most of the energy work that I do, DNA activations, all that correspond to the 15th level or 15th dimension, which is where your Raishi self exists, and that's a step above your higher self and your I am presence. So there's many different dimensions, and then some of these teachers and people on YouTube will talk about density. Like Brad Johnson's one of those people that talk about density instead of dimensions. But if you think you're just going to this magical place, you're not going anywhere. You are in a way you're moving up in a vibration, so everything does change. It does seem to be different. It can, if you want to call it anything, it would be a different frequency. It's not a place. It's just everybody that is not on that specific frequency will vibrate out of your reality, and then you will basically, live in that vibration. But because you're multidimensional, you will shift constantly. So you can shift out of your twins, vibration. And a lot of the separation has to do with that. It's like they can't meet you fully until they, get in alignment with you. And so just because they are, your so-called other half, or they carry, for me it's more apt to say they carry a twin flame energy, because if you go back and you look at the articles that were written in 2012, if you go to, like, say, Google, and Google twin flame articles 2012, a lot of those articles talked about twin flame ascension. And the twin flame ascension process was the merging of the higher self and lower self, which the embodiment of divine feminine and divine masculine has to be balanced within you before you come into the perfect frequency and vibration for your twin. So your twin has to meet that too in order to be, to be able to coexist with you. And the separation allows that to happen, even if they take a longer path, And you also go through phases where you just think you're crazy and no one's ever going to understand. And I will tell you this, and this might make some people mad, but if you are actually delusional enough to think that you met your twin and you've been with them from, like, start to finish, and you've never separated, other than like a small argument or something like that, that's not your twin flame. Because twin flames separate, and they are forced to separate. That's how you know that that's it. It's not a false twin flame that does it. Like, a lot of times you'll say, oh, it's my false twin flame, and I had to do that before I met my other one. Well, to me, why would you have to go through that process? Like, if you look up the twin flame symptoms and the process, like the process of elimination from the bubble love phase to the, the union, like when you come to the culmination point or to the end of it, it wouldn't make any sense to go through a false twin flame and go through all those stages and then turn around and do it again with another twin, or with your real twin. It doesn't make any sense. But there was articles that I used to read back in 2012, and there was many different. There was this one that I wish I still had it so I could list it in the description box. But it showed soul groups, like 144,000 souls split into 12 soul groups, and each soul group had 12 souls in it, or it was 12 soul groups that had 144,000. I can't remember exactly. And most of you that are star seeds and light workers and all that will really resonate with the number 144, which basically breaks down, it means light. So, and a lot of people will say, 144,000 specialized souls, but it has to do with soul groups. So I think it's 144,000 soul groups, and they're basically in pairs of 12. So you could say that each one of those, if you're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever, depending on how you're doing it, each one of those has a counterpart, and it's part of your soul group. So you possibly could have what you call near twins, and that's what that article was talking about. You could have close proximity, something that's almost close, because when you meet your twin, that's like being next to God or to the universe. That's like the closest thing you can get to, to God, is what they were saying, or to the universe. Alright, so I'm switching decks here, and I'm going to give you your other messages. And yeah, check out that article, because not that article, well, check the articles out too, but the video that I mentioned in the beginning, in case you didn't catch it. It's Twins Astrology, and look for 9-year cycle, or ending of a 9-year cycle. It breaks down a lot. Now, that's only going to resonate probably for the ones that, more or less that started, met their twin or felt like they met their twin in 2012. Okay, what are the messages for? What are the messages for Cancer? What are the messages for Cancer on their twin flame journey at this time? What are the messages for Cancer on their twin flame journey at this time? What are the messages for Cancer on their twin flame journey at this time? Alright, soulmate. So some of you have a soulmate in your life right now, and you might be happy, or it could be your twin, but it says compatibility, companionship, your best life partner. So you might actually be better with that. I mean, the twin flame relationships are very chaotic. Now sometimes, and like with me, the twin flame that I'm referring to is also a soulmate. So they carry that energy and the energy of a soulmate. And the reason I say this, some people would say it's totally different, and yes, it is. But for me, also, soulmates that I've called in, like through prayers and stuff, they're not your best partner always. A lot of times they're just your teacher or a catalyst as well to get you where you need to go. So your twin may not be your best life partner. It may not. It may just be someone that, triggers you and acts as a catalyst, and you go through, all kinds of stuff, and eventually you come out, your greatest version. What other messages does Cancer need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? What other messages does Cancer need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? What other messages does Cancer need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? What other messages does Cancer need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? Inner child, playful, happy, enjoy the present moment, live to the fullest. So that's basically just saying that make sure you stay grounded in the present moment. And some of you might actually, with the inner child card, you might actually have some inner child work to do. Or maybe this is what it's like when you're with your soulmate. You feel like a child again, or you come alive like that, or they make you feel alive, or they make you feel like a kid again. It could be that you need to work on it, or your twin needs to work on that. What else does Cancer need to know about their twin flame journey? Romance. Reveal, flow, savor, entice, open yourself to romance. So if some of you are closed off or scared to open up to your soulmate, you might need to, or another scenario I'm getting is some of you are closed off at this time, but you want romance. So you might need to open your heart, let go of certain things, forgive, offer forgiveness to certain ones. And I can tell you a pretty good way where you can do that. Or how you can do it is you can do something like this process where you connect to your higher self, and you just say something like, I connect, not to your higher self. You can do it either way, but you would connect to the person that you want to forgive. If you're too prideful or anything like that, for some of you that are on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, if you got a lot of pride or issues like that, you can just basically go into a trance-like state, meditate, or just close your eyes and set the intention to connect to whoever you're trying to forgive. And just as you're connected to their higher, say, I connect to that person's higher self. And as you do that, visualize like, yourself on a stage or something like that. And just visualize you forgiving them. And you can say it out loud or in your mind. And for the most part, you will feel your heart get lighter. So that just means that you were successful in, letting that go. And you'd be surprised, And then that way, for the ones that just don't want to see that person ever again, they can forgive them and you'll be free of that connection. Or you can forgive them and then be free of that connection. So it could be that you at this time that you just need to work on your inner child, and then that's what's kind of closing you off. Maybe that's been wounded, and then you want romance, or you could be having this with your soulmate, and they make you feel like a kid again. Many different scenarios, but basically this bottom row is what your twin would want to say to you at this time. So just kind of keep the faith. Don't let it ruin your life, and make sure you just live your life and do you, because that's what the journey is more. It's more about you. They mirror everything back to you, so you can work on yourself, and you do the same to them, and that's how it works. And again, it may just be a catalyst. It may never be supposed to be. It could be a destined meeting, but it doesn't mean that you're supposed to be with them or join. In complete union in this lifetime. And eventually, like I said, it gets easier. You get to the point where you don't really need them anymore. You're happy what you're doing, and you're content, and if you're supposed to be together, nothing will stop that, unless it's their own free will. And even free will can sometimes be an illusion, because a lot of times people think that they have free will, but you got to look at everything that goes into think about everything in regards to what has happened for you, your parents to meet so they could have you, or everything that puts you in a, if you've met your soulmate, everything that puts you on the path to meet that soulmate. A lot of times there's other things pulling the strings. It's not just we're guided by spirit along the way, and the whole separation between the twin and spirit and everything else is just, it's an illusion. You're never really separate from anyone. It's just more of a role that you are playing in this lifetime to try to understand the experience from a singular position, or from more of a, like just a single perspective, or from, for an experience in this body, where everything appears to be separate. But anyway, Cancer, that's what I have for you, and I hope that was informative. I hope that helped you, and I will be back later in June to probably do some different readings. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but I hope you, I want to remind you to please like, share, and subscribe if it resonated. If any of these messages resonate, please comment. Let me know, how it resonated. Let me know a little bit about your journey, things like that. I'm a twin flame myself, so I kind of like to understand that and relate to other people that have went through it. So anyway, like I said, that's what I have for you, and I hope you have a great rest of your month. Thanks for watching.